So a lot of people love Pokemon, and I love Pokemon. And at this point in time, after 8 generations, there are 898 Pokemon in existence. Some are based on mythological figures, some plants, some ice cream, but most are based on animals. So as an animal and Pokemon lover myself, I figured why not mix some of my favorite content to talk about the real-life inspirations of Pokemon in the animal kingdom. Welcome to Animalmon and Animalmon, a series. So the first edition of Animalmon, the series, is Reptiles and Amphibians, or I guess Lizardmon. I'm a huge reptile stan myself. I'm a proud owner of a couple lizards. So I hope even if you're not too fond of the scaly boys, you'll still enjoy this, at least for the Pokemon. We start out with arguably the best starter Pokemon ever, Trico. And look, I don't make the rules, but I do got a list. And here's the order of my list that it's in.
It goes Chimchar, Volpe, Cyndaquil, and Trico, Sabo from Galar, Froakie, Charmander, Toda, and Torchic.
Look, I said it was arguable. Anyways, more about this badass leaf gecko. I mean, did you know that it was even a real thing? The leaf-tailed gecko is definitely the clearest influence on Trico and its evolutions, Grovyle and Sceptile. And you can tell by its signature, tail that looks like a leaf. I mean, you could think of Trico as an actual gecko that looks like a tree. But that isn't the only gecko that plays an influence on the line. In fact, I have a special guest here to actually point it out to you.
15 minutes, 15%.
Okay, well, if you didn't know, this is the giant day gecko. And while it isn't really giant, it is the largest species of gecko in the world. And its vibrant green colors and cute little round face is super noticeable, especially on Trico. Next up, we have a Pokemon after my own childhood heart growing up in Southwest Florida. Totodile. If the final evolution for alligator didn't give away, this starter line is based on alligators, but in particular the yellow band on Totodile is reminiscent of juvenile American alligators. A couple of fun facts about the American alligator: an adult alligator can bite down with just under 3,000 pounds per square inch of force, and have a second joint in their jaw that prevents their mouth from twisting from the force. They also have a high and a low walk that changes how close to the ground they keep their bellies. Although I don't think that includes walking on 2 feet like for alligator. The American alligator also used to be threatened by extinction, but after decades of conservation, they are now listed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature as least concern. Unfortunately, they still might be endangered in the Pokemon universe, considering you can only really get a Totodile originally in Johto and the Alola region games. Picture this: Tortoise and Coal.
We'll take 6 seasons.
Torkoal is pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. The thing is that he could be a couple different tortoises, but the most flaccid and wrinkly neck, dangly neck boy available gets my pick: the giant Galapagos tortoise. Sure, the Galapagos tortoise is significantly bigger than Torkoal is supposed to be. Do you see how it just props itself up so confidently? Interesting thing is, Torkoal's shell has these volcanic-like vents that can shoot lava plumes out of. But something you may not know is that the shells of real-life tortoises like the Galapagos actually are not solid and contain a honeycombed-shaped air chambers. Galapagos tortoises grow to literally over 500 pounds, whereas Torkoal is only recorded at 177 pounds. So why did I make this comparison? Well, maybe if we weren't pumping our commercial Pokemon with hormones, I'm looking at you, rare candies, Torkoal could reach that big boy status too. While the previous Pokemon on this list would likely eat up a turtle, Dreadnought's the type of turtle that people just don't mess with. Dreadnought's clearly a Feraligatr snapping turtle, and let's just say they're named after the mon that delivers that 3,000 pounds per square inch bite force for a reason.
He didn't break my arm, but the pressure was unlike anything I've ever had on my arm before. Just the sheer weight, and I could feel...
Now, real alligator snapping turtles, and Dreadnought a bit too, kind of look like a creepypasta mashup animal or something you would find frozen in amber after millions of years. But they don't call Florida the Australia of America for no reason, because these babies love to munch on fish in my home state. Okay, for the first time now on this list, we're going to say forget that nature crap, alright? We're talking about anime.
こっちに向かって何かを投げたぞ。この風を切る音、これは一体。異議だぜ。ほらほら。
So Salamence is clearly some sort of massive dragony salamander, but stop. No animal time. Anime time. Devilman is a 1972 anime by Toei in which a high school student, Akira, and father are killed by a demon, Amon, who was then ordered by the Demon King to take over Akira's body, infiltrate human life to coordinate a demon takeover. Well, Amon then falls in love with the first human girl he meets and decides he's gonna fight on the side of mankind as Devilman. So imagine that. As a Pokemon, yeah, but that wouldn't exactly fit in, so it's also a salamander. Another Pokemon that may remind you of a dinosaur is Heliolisk, but you may not know this. The depiction of the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park is fictionalized. The real ancient creature did not have a frilled neck or spit poison, probably because it was a bird. Spielberg really just wanted to make a frilled neck lizard make sense in his dinosaur movie. And just like Heliolisk, the frilled neck lizard uses their big old skin flaps to warn off dangers like predators. Unlike Heliolisk though, the frilled neck lizard, I don't think at least, can use the move Thunder on feral cats in Australia. Get this. Ekans. Backwards is snake. Bet you didn't know that. Now watch this. Watch this. Arbok. Backwards is cobra. While Salandit literally has the beginning of the word salamander in its name, it is honestly more reminiscent of another amphibian, the Firebelly Newt. Not only is there a dope pattern on both Salandit and the Firebelly Newt, but the Firebelly Newt actually is a poison-type amphibiamon too, secreting tetrodotoxins, one of the most lethal poisons in the world, also carried by the likes of the pufferfish. When secreted through the Firebelly Newt's skin, it commonly causes numbness and intense irritation topically, but can be insanely lethal if consumed. And I think Salandit's fire typing is obvious enough when considering the name of its inspiration. From the outside looking in, this might be one of the more confusing picks on the list. I mean, what even is this thing? Well, at first glance, Superior seems like some sort of snake, maybe an emerald tree boa. It is a green boy and it blends in with trees and plants, so the grass typing makes some sense. But Snivy and Servine have legs? Well, there is a non-snake option here you may not be considering, the legless or glass lizard. If you, like a lot of others, are thinking, isn't a snake just a legless lizard? Well, no. In a lot of ways, they look pretty similar, but they come from two different evolutionary branches where legless lizards carry many lizard characteristics from lizards that have legs, like eyelids, external ears, and inflexible jaws, unlike snakes. A very structural difference is the fact that legless lizards have stiffer, longer tails that take up more of their bodies than snakes, and they can actually drop them. But that being said, Superior is likely a mix of both of these slithery boys. If you got into Pokemon since the
Pokemon go to the polls
era, you may not even know what a Kecleon is. Is this one of them there Digimon? What is it doing on my Pokemon list, brother? Well, Kecleon isn't the most clouded up Pokemon, but it has some dope abilities and color change, which changes its typing to the type of move it was just hit by, and the goated hidden ability of Protean, which switches a Pokemon's typing to the move it's about to use, which means you always get the stab damage bonus. This is a clear homage to Kecleon's design as the color shifting chameleon. Kecleon could easily be either a veiled or panther chameleon, which doesn't really make a difference when it comes to how cool they are. A couple of things Game Freak got wrong with the chameleon Pokemon though are the fact that Kecleon is missing the protruding and interdependent eyes of chameleon, which would make some interesting lore and stat implications as these eyes give chameleons a 360-degree range of vision, literally being able to see behind their heads. The other thing is that chameleons actually don't shift color based on their surroundings for camouflage like many people think. These color shifts are a result of cells called chromatophores, in contrast to the pigments in mammal skin, melanocytes. Chameleons have the ability to manipulate these cells and often use it to either absorb heat by shifting to a darker color or to express moods. So color change as an ability is a little backwards, where protein makes a lot of sense. It's just that protein is too OP to be a common ability for Kukleon. So we're starting to wind down this list with my obligatory, tadpole to frog Pokemon. And my first pick for a tadpole Pokemon was Poliwag, but I have no idea what the hell Poliwhirl and Poliwrath are. So I went with Tympole, since it goes from tadpole to the Senate.
The Senate will decide your fate.
I am the Senate.
To an actual toad. A detail I really do like about this evolutionary line, though, is that it's actually an evolutionary line, like the fact that Palpitoad has grown legs but no arms, much like actual tadpoles tend to do in the process of their growth. I mean, think about how Ekans, a rattlesnake,
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
turns into Arbok, a spectacled cobra. Doesn't really make that much sense. Finally, last but not least, ultimately, and whatever other transitions you learned in 5th grade for your 5-paragraph power essays, we have everyone's favorite goofy smile boy, Wooper. Wooper is based on everybody's favorite aquatic smiley amphibian, the axolotl. Axolotls are some insanely bizarre and fascinating creatures, and Wooper is, well, it's Wooper. Axolotls originate from Mexico and derive their name from the Aztec dog god Xolotl. And axolotl actually means water dog in many interpretations. The axolotl is famous for its leucistic color morph, which is why you see them with an albino skin tone, but not red eyes. Wild ones are rarely ever this color, and the leucistic color was popularized for the pet trade in France. Wooper Shiny is clearly a leucistic axolotl. They look like little cutie patooties as juveniles, but do significantly bulk up as they evolve from an axolotl to a quagsire. Axolotls are heavily studied for their regenerative abilities, even being able to regrow parts of their brains and their little sharpie dot eyes. And last fact, I promise, and then I'll stop being a nerd. Axolotls are unlike many other amphibians, as they remain unmetamorphosized or evolved, and stay aquatic their entire lives. Those cool looking headdresses they have are actually gills, which, looking at Quagsire and seeing that he doesn't have that, kind of, I guess, makes it an abomination? So that was Animalmon, the series, episode 1. Some interesting Pokemon inspired by lizards and amphibians. So I do plan on making this a series. So if you like it, or have any feedback for me, good or bad, go ahead, leave me some comments. Like the video, ring the bell, whatever you want to do, all that YouTube stuff. So thanks for watching again, and if you don't watch the next video, I will send the Pokemon police to do a no-knock warrant on your house and steal all of your Pokeballs. Alright, have a good night. Peace out.